I have a best friend, and we were best friends since we were born, so we basically grew up together. And she's actually the dream of a best friend to have, so I can really relate to this poem because I'm still in the dreamy phase for 19 years now.
I can relate to the poem.
You introduced yourself as my friend, the best friend I ever dreamed to have. You thought something did on you depend, something I still fail to understand. Being hopeless and weak by myself, I was joyful and true before you. My feelings were what you made me feel. You taught me the way I doubted, too. Life treated me well, how curious. Life was beautiful to me, I swear. How our mind works is mysterious, how the weather could change in the air. With my imperfections getting old, your impatience was growing faster. Words and actions made a warm heart cold. The yellow rose was stitched in the dirt. A great wall builds itself between us. Whatever happens, it will not fall. For good, the fail's friendship comes undone. In a world of noises, no one calls. I was more hopeful at the beginning, and then it turned more sad.
It starts really beautiful, and in the end it's a bit sad.
It's a bit sad, huh?
Like an old wound.
Really melancholic, but still really nice to listen and to just feel the words.
You can feel the peace when you read it. You feel better after you read it, like meditation.
Your best friend, you never really know. Something could happen and then it might end.
It's the end of a friendship, but it also says that life treated me well. So it's almost like the friendship is over, but I'm happy anyway.
And it feels like also they left on bad terms, because sometimes friendships can end as well, but you leave on good terms and you see each other 10 years later and it's all fine, you know.
And that's about best friends. It's about simplicity, I think. Even if you don't see each other for 10 years, you still... look each other in the eye and you're just on the same frequency.
Frequency, yeah, same frequency. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Like two comets maybe, sometimes you cross paths, you spend some time together, but you don't have, everybody's on their own, course. So sometimes, you meet, you connect, and then paths diverge again.
We're born alone and we die alone, but we all seek and look for a friend and a helping hand once in a while to get through the loneliness of life.
You introduced yourself as my friend, the best friend I ever dreamed to have. You thought something did on you depend, something I still fail to understand.
My best friend is my sister and we are friends.
I actually have multiple best friends.
No, I don't like the concept of a best friend. I like to have my support group around me of maybe 3-4 people, and I get along good with every single one of them and I appreciate them and I'm thankful for them. But I think that, I don't know, maybe last time that I had a best friend was in the elementary school, but it did not end well.
Being hopeless and weak by myself, I was joyful and true before you. My feelings were what you made me feel. You taught me the way I doubted to.
I think because I see it in other people and how I often think, okay, the beef, the argument they have, and how often I think, okay, that's just so idiotic. Either don't be friends at all because you guys just don't fit, and obviously you're not telling each other the truth anyway, so don't be friends. Or if you want to be friends, just be more chill with each other. It's not that important if somebody, I don't know, comes late or it's not that important. You have to see the bigger picture. But then obviously for some people, I don't know, punctuality, for example, is very, very important. And then you wouldn't search friends that come late in the first place, right? So in the end, you should just search for the people that fit.
We haven't had so many challenging moments that threaten our friendship anymore.
If it's really your best friend, you're gonna work through it. Life treated me well, how curious. Life was beautiful to me, I swear. How a mind works is mysterious. How the weather could change in the air.
Life treated me well, how curious. Exclamation point. So this is a bit of a,
in the middle, in the
punctuation,
center of it,
yeah.
I like that you rhymed the words curious and mysterious because they're both so, I don't know, kind of exaggerated for the situation. And
Everything, the life is mysterious, friendship can be mysterious.
also I really like the word curious in the with the rest of the sentence, that life treated him well, how curious. I think that's just a nice combination.
With my imperfections getting old, your impatience was growing faster. Words and actions made a warm heart cold. The yellow rose was ditched in the dirt. A great wall builds itself between us. Whatever happens, it will not fall. For good, the false friendship comes undone. In a world of noises, no one calls.
It's like simple but deep at the same time. Simple from like the words point of view, but at the same time you need to think about the interpretation a little bit and what it really comes through it.
Very rich in metaphors.
Nice rhymes, but not too foreseeable.
I like the rhythm here.
Life, how.
The false friendship comes undone. So the real friendship supposed to stay, no?
Yeah, it sounds a bit disappointing at the end.
For good, the false friendship comes undone. That were really stuck to me.
There's one word that throws me off in the end, and or like one term, it's the failed friendship. Like that kind of threw me like a little bit off.
The false friendship.
Because like the word false friendship is often used like, or like the word, it's like the word snake or something like that. You know, it's like by people that were hurt, maybe rightfully, but like sometimes also it feels like, you know, it's like not a good term. Like it's just.
Somehow, sometimes you just need to watch at the little things to understand what like a real friend is and what like real friendship really means.
It's really sad that no one's calling in a busy world, and that it apparently was a false friendship when once the person thought that it was the best friend and a dream to have. I like your humor because of the last sentence. With a world full of noises where no one calls. I just think it's funny because it's so simple, and compared to this dramatic world full of noises, it's all about like your phone in your pocket. I think that's funny.
In the end, like it kind of describes how like the imperfections and like impatience and everything, and it felt like there was a lot of tension. That's so like what I think about friendships is if it's a true friend, you look over stuff like that. And if it amounts, you talk, because like conversation in the end is the key to a friendship in the first place. And like if you're not able to communicate transparently and properly from the beginning, then it might be fails to label them as a friend.
Fourth stanza with the yellow rose, which is the symbol of the friendship that was just ditched in the dirt. That's really heartbreaking because one of my friends just gave me a bunch of yellow roses like 2 weeks ago, and they just got old so fast, and it was so sad to see. And so this kind of reminded me of that, and how the yellow rose is symbolic for friendship, and it can just be ditched in the dirt like that and be disrespected.
So we are seeing two...
There's a wall between them, like it says in the poem, that there's a wall that builds and never falls. So maybe the picture also represents the wall. And because it seems like it's the same person who's just mirrored, you mirror yourself in your friends too, because you probably search for someone that is kind of similar to you and that can understand you. So maybe that's what that represents, just two people who kind of mirror themselves in each other.
I think you're a person, you care a lot about people and about the connections you're having with them.
It's a mysterious person, very deep, sensitive.
Rather intense person.
Probably you've lost a best friend, I feel like, or somehow the relationship just broke. You found a way at the same time to move forward, and you're happy anyway, and you're satisfied with your life, and you're trying to make the best out of it.
Self-critical because you say you have imperfections, so like that's actually a good thing.
What's meant to be, that will be, and that will happen, also with friendships and everything.
Nothing is forever.
Everything happens for a reason.